Once upon a time, Denzel Washington and Matthew McConaughey were the stars the big media talked about. If you're not making box office hits, you have to turn to social media. Without a social media presence, the stardom could be lost. The Hollywood stars have channels motivating others to follow, or they have created their own channels now motivating others to follow. Essentially, they have become Tony Robbins. Today, the media industry is focused on Donald Trump. That's because the entire world is focused on this 45th American president. He was already a celebrity before he even took office. Today, he's the star influencer on Twitter. What's a celebrity? It can be a dog, an anime character, and anyone known to many people. The word celebrity applies to anyone who is known to a big group of people. I'm awed at how much the media is fixated on Trump. He knows how to build a personal brand. You think? To me, this is his destiny. What was different about Trump from the day he took over the Oval Office? He was connecting via Twitter. Even his supporters were criticizing him for tweeting. He used it to his advantage. He was building his Trump brand all over the world. What a businessman. In Japan, he gave rise to conservatism. He's a brilliant strategist. Trump is an anti-globalist global brand. This is an oxymoron. But today, I want to talk about the big picture in which Trump plays a big role. The dynamic trend, because our environment is rapidly changing, feels like we're in a constant state of flux. So is the big picture one where Trump shakes his magical celebrity wand to save America's status quo, or maybe take America to the next level of greatness? Or is he going to do to the dollar what Nixon did? Take the gold away and let it be whatever the central bank wants it to be, in a state of, or a constant state of flux. Well, Nixon did what he had to do. What will Donald Trump have to do? I don't think presidents control the country's currency. They only react to the circumstances thrown at them. American presidents have become firefighters. Watch the video, China 2021. What will America do in response? Although I prefer to explain without the mumbo-jumbo astrology parlance, sometimes I have to speak in astrology. I want to first talk about democracy and the American dollar in the Age of Aquarius. What makes America great is the strength of the dollar. 21st century America is about reinventing American democracy, the Democratic Party, and the Republican Party. Well, hell, that's the entire government. Absolutely. FDR's presidency was the dawning of the Age of Aquarius. President Roosevelt was an Aquarius. What happened during FDR's presidency? Roosevelt was worried about Japan's expansion in Asia and appointed General Douglas MacArthur to head the Pacific Command. Well, guess what? Japan is an Aquarius country. Douglas MacArthur was an Aquarius too. Notice this Aquarius, Aquarius, Aquarius. Well, Aquarius is what creates revolutionary changes. This is about crashing, dismantling, and disrupting. General MacArthur tries to roll back the Chinese Communist Revolution and is fired by President Truman. Then Dwight Eisenhower becomes president. This was a true turning point that brought America into Asia. Eisenhower was a new moon in Libra. That means the start of something new. Both his sun and moon are in Libra. His birth chart describes what has transpired when he became president. The sun in Libra is in its fall, and he was the president who reigned at that time. This is what Japan, this is about Japan that was reflected in his chart, that Japan had fallen and Eisenhower was the first U.S. president-elect to visit East Asia, in particular Japan. From the looks of his birth chart, he was a great communicator and a deal maker, maybe even better than Trump. Where am I going with this? What I'm explaining is that by reading the president's charts, you can determine what will transpire or how he will govern. Just bear with me. You can skip this part if you want to. The point I am trying to make is America is at war, a revolutionary war, and it's dire. So let's jump ahead to today. We've seen Japan rise from the ashes like a phoenix. Japan is a democracy, but China is a communist nation. Japan was the first to invest in China to avoid U.S. tariffs. Ronald Reagan got elected and invited Japan to invest in the U.S. Japan has been producing globally. Japan has been investing in China for a long time too. And there are many pro-China Japanese companies and pro-China Japanese politicians. Just like what we see in this country today. Donald Trump, now bigger than life, stirs the cauldron, and the conservative Japanese are gaining consciousness and expressing their concerns about China. These are the pro-Trump, anti-communist China Japanese. So the question is, can Trump lead the world to fight China's takeover? Well, he can only do this by winning back America first, don't you think? Maybe it's not China he is fighting. The problem is within our borders. In the U.S., pro-China businesses and politicians are too many. Can Trump win this war in America? Looks like he may be the chosen one. Let me translate a Japanese channel called Will, W-I-L-L. And you can look it up too, because it's a YouTube channel. This is an internet TV and features conservative views. Softbank CEO Masayoshi Son, one of my favorite CEO celebrities, is almost always in the news in Japan. We all know him as the Nasdaq whale. Well, according to the two moderators, the company has now split, and SBI, I think that's SoftBank Investment, is led by Yoshitaka Kitao. They are talking about China's digital currency. It is very hard to destroy or bypass the SWIFT system. SWIFT is the dollar power. It's how international payments are settled. I used to do business with foreign companies, and I had to use Capital One or Chase to receive payments from my customers. These banks have a SWIFT code. Other local banks could not accept foreign payments because they were not part of the SWIFT system. However, China has discovered a way around this, and this is the only way they can destroy the SWIFT or the dollar dominance. Now, I'm translating this. I'm just translating what the two moderators are saying. So in the IT arena, China would standardize all IT products and services to be processed through a centralized bank using the Chinese digital currency. The bank would settle international payments in Chinese digital currency. Talks are going on in Osaka, Japan, because today the small banks are no longer making money in this low interest rate environment. Osaka, Japan? Why are they doing this venture in Japan? So, does this have anything to do with the cancellation of the Ant, A-N-T IPO? Ant is that famous Jack Ma's fintech. Jack Ma is the founder of Alibaba. So, for some of you who are not familiar with Jack Ma, Softbank is getting involved in this centralized megabank venture. This megabank will be one of the necessities of the smart city, where the energy grid combines banking with living. Look up SBI R3 Japan. This is the blockchain company. They are putting together a consortium of banks. In this venture, NTT Data has united blockchain technology with supply chains. Check out what is happening with Ripple or even CoinDesk. They're saying that these Japanese companies are thinking that the dollar's reign is coming to a close, and that is why they are taking this direction. SoftBank is very much involved in PCR testing also. I remember that Song was offering the masks for free. This is an environment that is so conducive to these players. I can't believe it. Ask yourself, do you believe in such a coincidence? Look up the alliance of Japan's Tsumura and China's insurance giant Heian Insurance. Tsumura is spelled Tsumura, and the Heian Insurance Heian. What do? Tsumura is expanding in Chinese business. They are securing their crude raw drug materials from China. Now go back to China 2020 video. I talked about insurance companies. Can Donald Trump work this magic? Or his magic? We are at war with China. Is he going to be the last American president to see the dollar as the world's reserve currency? Well, you can see why Trump tried to not only be energy independent but become the world's biggest energy supplier. First of all, he thinks big, and that's because he's an entrepreneur. He was aiming for a U.S. energy index like the Brent. Blockchains and crypto mining require lots of energy. Listen to my video on the sectors that are going to rally. I've been saying that it will be energy, metals, and semiconductors. Oh, one last thing. Make sure your internet connection or your electrical connection isn't interrupted next week. Don't miss out on important communications. Expect the unexpected. Next week is, I think, the 14th to 18th. 14th to the 18th. Actually, 19th to the 20th. From 14th to the 20th. Okay. Watch what happens next week. Please subscribe and hit that